privileged to stand before you tonight at this remarkable occasion, the official launch of the Private Sector Forum for Child Rights. This initiative is more than a ceremonial milestone. It is a clarion call to unite our efforts, our resources, and our resolve to change the trajectory of children's lives in Botswana. This is no ordinary gathering. It is a call to conscience and a call to action. It is a moment to align our collective energy, ingenuity, and investment behind the most urgent priority of our time, the welfare and development of our children. We gather tonight not just in celebration, but in reflection of who we are and where we must go. Children in Botswana represent 1/3 of our population. Over half of our people are under the age of 25. They are not just the future, they are the present, and their lives require our immediate attention. Despite this, the truth is sobering. Nearly half of our children live in multidimensional poverty. 70% of our children lack access to adequate sanitation, a fundamental determinant of health. 39% are deprived of both decent housing and essential health care. For those of us who attended the meeting of ministers 3 weeks ago, we talked to Honorable Ramogapi and we challenged our fellow colleagues in his ministry that as we embark on Gollow initiative, they need to make a positive discrimination towards households of parents that are single or widowed and those that have children. So, Mr. Vice President, as you are here, we have given Rera Mohapi this task to say we want to see the issue of women, especially those with children, be mainstreamed into the Gollow initiative. Our expectation is that the same way as we have mainstreamed gender in programs across different ministerial sectors, government is now saying everyone has to mainstream child welfare into their relevant programming. Stunting continues to affect nearly 1 in 5 children under the age of 5, with lifelong consequences. Less than 50% of our youngest learners have access to early learning and stimulation. Distressingly, only 10% of children who suffer abuse are able to access any form of assistance. Our under 5 mortality rate remains high at 56 per 1,000 live births, and maternal mortality persists at 240 per 100,000. These are not just numbers in a policy brief. They are stories of pain, potential unmet, and lives curtailed before they ever had a fair chance. Dear Ama Bagaetso, whenever we deal with numbers, we must always remember there is a human behind every number. So here we are talking faces of our children. The government of Botswana does not take this lightly. We have adopted a deliberate, rights-based approach to child development, one that recognizes children not as passive recipients of charity, but as rightful stakeholders in our national development trajectory. Among our flagship initiatives as a ministry is that we are amending the Children's Act to reinforce legal protections and to ensure that every child is seen, heard, and safeguarded. We have also introduced STEM education. This includes coding and robotics at early learning stages to prepare our children for a future that is driven by innovation and technology. In fact, we are far ahead. As a ministry, Cabinet has recently approved the STEM-driven curriculum framework, and we have successfully incorporated it into general curriculum and assessment framework. Had it not been for the current economic meltdown that we are facing, we would be out in the field consulting with our different stakeholders, including ourselves. STEM-driven education is extremely expensive. It does not only entail making our schools ready, it means full cycle capacitation of our teachers. You are all aware of the deplorable state of our schools. You also know that our primary schools have no laboratories. We are in a hurry to implement, but we equally need to join hands with development partners and private sector to make this dream a reality for our children. We also have issues of connectivity. In fact, 3 weeks ago, I was sent to meet all CEOs of our internet and connectivity, those that provide that, to ask them to say, may you join us as we implement STEM-driven education because it needs connectivity. So I stand here, Bagaetsu, because I've been asked to also say what support I need. And I am putting this before yourselves to say connectivity, as you know, continues to be a problem, especially in the remote areas. And we want the children, even in remote areas, to access STEM-driven education. In our endeavor to be human rights-based in our programming, our STEM-based education has components of what we call plugged. Plugged is where we are in towns where connectivity is readily available. But we also have unplugged STEM-driven education to ensure that our children that are in remote and rural areas may access this type of innovation. I am happy we have private sector here who are listening to this cry. A special thank you goes to UNICEF for this thoughtful initiative of bringing private sector under one roof to appreciate child welfare challenges and to become partners in providing solutions for our children. Thank you, Ms. Nemakade, and your team of fellow CEOs. Our other ministry initiative, Ibidiwas Galasa Biza. This is a second chance program. We want to make sure that no child is lost to the cracks that have been promoted by the exclusion of our education system through the grading system. These children, as you might be aware, are part of the children we label as unaccounted for. In some instances, they are part of those in the streets and remote areas whom we label as 10% missing children. For us, it is a very important initiative because it is led through partnerships with an organization called Young Economic Empowerment Trust. They founded this initiative, trial and tested it before they brought it to government to partner with them. We also have roped in Botswana Open University to make this initiative a tripartite project, supervised and coordinated through our out-of-school education and training division. The project is currently undergoing various approval processes following consultations, and it will soon kick off within the next 2 months. We therefore make a call and say, join hands and let us mob the streets as our new government says. We continue to invest in school infrastructure, particularly in remote and underserved communities. As I have elaborated, the introduction of STEM-based education, investment in school infrastructure has become a high priority in our ministry to ensure schools are ready for the STEM-driven education. It has to be noted that forging strategic partnerships is no longer a choice because we know that government cannot go it alone. Our door at the ministry is open for all potential partnerships and investors who might want to partner with government to drive these key priorities. But this brings us to why we are here tonight. The launch of the Private Sector Forum for Child Rights is the reason we are here tonight. For us as a ministry, this launch is more than symbolic, it is transformational and therefore aligned with government priorities. Tonight marks the birth of a new chapter. The Private Sector Forum for Child Rights will serve as a launchpad for transformational collaboration to put children's agenda by private sector on a pedestal and make it conspicuous. It is a demonstration that private sector leadership extends beyond commerce. It touches the core of our communities, whether through innovation in education, family-friendly workplace policies, or sustainable child-friendly infrastructure. We know and fully trust that your engagement can and will create a lasting impact in the lives of our children. Let us ensure that children are not just passive beneficiaries of our development agenda, but that they are active participants and central stakeholders in our nation's economic prosperity and general development. Let us ensure that no child is left behind, not because it is a fashionable rhetoric, but because it is a moral imperative and an economic necessity. Research has made very strong economic cases. His Honor, the Vice President, why we have to invest in children. That is why I believe you are here tonight, because the government wants to see this imperative fulfilled, and one of the results is the establishment of the Ministry of Child Welfare and Basic Education. I wish to conclude by saying, let tonight mark the beginning of a bold movement, a movement where opportunities for children are abundant, a movement where their protection is guaranteed, and where every child, no matter where they are born, can live, learn, and thrive. I wish us to rise together to that challenge, and I wish us, as I conclude, for us to applaud and give UNICEF and private sector forum for child rights a standing ovation as I exit the stage.